Alright, this is Ryan Green, and we're doing the Athanasian Creed reading this week, chapter 5 in our book. We're answering question 2. It says, why do you think the Athanasian Creed is so insistent that you have to believe certain things to be saved, and that if you do not believe them, you open yourself up to suffering eternal damnation? I think when you do this reading, and when you actually read the Creed, and what it's saying and how it's broken down, and especially how it begins with the Trinity and a really good explanation of the Trinity. I have to say, I don't think I've ever read this creed, but I think it explains the Trinity well, and I think it also explains it well, but it also sticks to biblical authority as well. It seeks to maintain biblical authority, and it also speaks on the incarnation of Christ, and it also just lays out the gospel very simple, in a simple manner. And in our reading we see that Athanasius may not even have been the one that wrote this. It might have been Augustine, I believe, if I remember correctly. But getting to the heart of the question, why do we think that it's so important that you believe these things? I believe that it's difficult in the beginning because the scriptures don't really give us the clearest understanding of the Trinity itself. So here in the Creed, he lays it out, he expounds upon it, and helps us to understand and distinguishes what the Trinity is, and it helps us to see that in there. It helps us to realize, okay, this is the Trinity that the Bible talks about. Now I can more fully understand it in some type of way. And also it points to the gospel of truth. It expresses the truth of the gospel and what you must believe, that Jesus was one with the Father. He was the second person of the Trinity. It says he is the incarnation. He is the man, God incarnate, and we must believe and confess in him. That's what this creed is also saying. In the last section it says, who suffered for our salvation, descended into hell, rose again on the third day from the dead, he ascended into heaven, he sitteth at the right hand of God. So these things are gospel oriented things. These are the things that we must believe to be saved. This comes straight out of the Bible. So that is one of the reasons that I would say that it may have been so insistent, is because these are things not from what man says or what man thinks, but these are things from the Word of God. And Christianity in God is not like the rest of the world. It is its own separate thing. It's unique for what it is. And also, I just want to read this last point. It says, one of the second to last sentences in the reading, to paraphrase Philip Schaff, the point of the creed is not that we are saved by memorizing a set of statements, but that we are saved by trusting in the one who has revealed himself. Trusting in him as far as he has told us about himself is what saves, while straying from him is what condemns. The Athanasian Creed points us to the identity of the one who saves. So the creed is just trying to point our attention to Jesus Christ, to who he is, his essence, and describe the Trinity and Jesus and how he came to this earth and died. So the creed is just a mirror of what the gospel is already saying. So obviously it is important that we believe these things, and that is the reason why it is probably insistent on these things, and that if we don't believe these things, that we will suffer eternal damnation in hell, because that is the reality of the scriptures themselves.